Good evening and welcome to a new edition of To The Point. This evening we'll be discussing the Egyptian-German relations. We're told that two business delegations will be arriving in Cairo starting next week. The first delegation will be arriving on the 9th of April through the 13th, and the second delegation, which takes a more formal shape, will be arriving between the 16th and the 18th, and it will be headed by the German Vice Chancellor, Chancellor Sigmar Gabriel. We have with us this evening to shed light on the German delegation's visit is Dr. Herret, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the German Arab Chamber of Trade and Industry. Pleasure to have you with us.
My pleasure, thank you.
With us also this evening is Dr. Engineer Nader Riad, who is the President of the Egyptian-German Business Association. A pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Before the show, you said that this visit is to counter President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's last visit to Berlin. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, it will be the third session of the Joint Economic Committee between Egypt and Germany. It gives a great opportunity for both the governments to exchange views on economic development, on policies, and at the same time for the business community to meet and to do networking and to develop ideas, be it for projects, for joint ventures, for trade, for investment. Mm-hmm. So it's a great platform for the private sector from both countries.
Yes. Dr. Nader, what has been prepared for that visit? I mean, we have two heavyweight delegations coming in a few days. Germany is quite a strategic partner for Egypt.
Exactly. This has its significance, that positive and production cooperation between both countries is more close than ever before. It's evident that what's good for Egypt is good for Germany, and what's good for Germany is good for Egypt. It signifies also that the rise of Egypt is the beginning of the rise of the Middle East and Arab countries. So Egypt is not only a core of stability in the region, but also an active partner with Europe, with Germany, and the free world. We have much more to bring us together than what puts us apart.
Yes. Dr. Herret, could you tell us the delegation, the first delegation that would be arriving to Cairo on the 9th? Can you just give us an insight into what kind of a delegation, what kind of businessmen are we expecting, or is it not businessmen? Who's arriving?
Actually, it is a delegation that hails from the most southern state of Germany, from Bavaria.
Okay.
And it is headed by Secretary of State of their Ministry of Economics, a number of members of the Bavarian Parliament, but the majority are businessmen and businesswomen who are coming. And Bavaria is one of the states that is actually buying more from Egypt than selling to Egypt. I looked that up because usually the trade balance is in Germany's favor, but this federal state is buying 75% of the imports of oil and gas that Germany buys from Egypt.
Okay.
And they come with part of a delegation to source services and subcontracts here in Egypt, and a part will be cooperation in training and education, and of course exporting, where they are interested. We have made for them a program that we take them to the Suez Canal region. We want to show them there the investment opportunities. They will have a meeting as well with the Egyptian Engineering Export Council, which is representing the most sophisticated companies in Egypt that really have the capacity to be global players and who have the quality of products that are interested. And then we will organize in our chamber as well a business dinner for them, where we invite all our members to join with this delegation.
Mm-hmm. This is the first delegation. And let me get Dr. Riad's here point of view. What are we expecting? I mean, Bavaria is Well, we don't, this is a publicity in itself. We're just mentioning the name is a form of publicity. So what do we want from that delegation?
First, we have to know that the state of Bavaria is one of the most productive and richest states among the 17 states of Germany.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
Yes. Also, it is very active in export. It has a lot of industries, heavy and IT industries.
Yes.
The delegation coming to Egypt represent most of the activities of interest to Egypt. Mm. They are coming with big shot representatives of industries related to construction, food industries, energy, green technology, irrigation, automotive, railways, aviation and space technology, educational projects, drinking water and water treatment, medical services and financial services. These activities are very important for Egypt to interact with a leading and most professional industry like that of Germany.
Are there any protocols with that delegation? Is there anything prepared, certain cooperation agreements that will be signed between Egypt and this delegation, the Bavarian delegation?
In this delegation, not yet. We are still exploring options and possibilities for cooperation like that. But it might be, in the end, a result of this delegation that we continue.
The second delegation, which will be arriving on the 16th, can you shed light on the format? This seems to be a more formal delegation than the three.
It is a more formalized one because it is a government-to-government event to have the Joint Economic Committee, and it is a very big delegation. We are expecting 150 delegates, out of which 85 are companies. And there you find a large variety of all sectors, from small companies to global players across all sectors of the economy. We have very famous brands that are already established in Egypt that are building right now power stations, for instance.
Okay, you don't want to go into names.
The core of this visit will be an Egyptian-German business forum, which we will organize on the 18th of April. And this will be an opportunity where we expect to have in the end 500 participants, both from Egypt and from Germany, and to join and come together. And on the evening of the 17th of April, we have a very special occasion. We celebrate the 65th anniversary of our chamber.
Okay.
And we will do it close to the pyramids of Giza, and we will use this opportunity to do tourism promotion for Egypt as well. Because
so
if we have so many Germans here, it would be really very sad if we don't use this opportunity.
What's the percentage of tourists coming to Egypt, German tourists, usually? What's the percentage? I mean, let's forget about the past few couple of years or so. Usually we're talking about what percentage?
I cannot tell you the percentage based on the whole, but I think we have about between 2 to 3 millions that are visiting. But there are still a lot tourists coming, and we would have been coming more if only they had the opportunity to find a flight. Right now, our problem is not so much that the people are concerned about security, but we're facing the situation that many charter companies, they have stopped the flights and they have diverted this to Spain and Greece, to other locations. So I spent my Christmas vacation in Sharm el-Sheikh, and I met a German lady there, and she says she had so much trouble to get to Sharm el-Sheikh because the travel agent said, we have no flights for you. And she insisted, and then she came through Turkey like this, and she loved it so much. So that is actually right now the problem.
Dr. Riad, what are we expecting from this delegation? Now, this is a governmental delegation supported by a strong business community, but if we talk at a government-to-government level, what do we need from that delegation right now?
Of course, economic support, technical support, stability and anti-terror issues. It's well known that no economy could rise up without stability and the right environment for partners from Europe to come and feel at home. So the common interest of fighting terrorism is now more global than local. So expect countries like Germany and the European Union to play a more interactive role with Egypt, overcoming terrorism and working for future forecasting, including economic cooperation. Germany has a very good record with cultural projects and education in Egypt. The first delegation on its program, it will visit the German university, it will visit the German Scientific Center, it will visit also certain projects, industrial projects, and we'll have the opportunity to visit the Suez Canal new project, and a part will get acquainted with the new project of the new governmental city extending from Cairo to Hurghada. This will give them a very good idea that Egypt, while being fully indulged in fighting terrorism, is building up an economic platform to cope up with the European development and make the gap even less.
Dr. Herret, Egypt has an issue with the quality of the labor. We're entering a phase whereby we want to change Egypt from an import-oriented country to an export-oriented country. We're embarking on the logistics center in the Suez Canal, and we need qualified labor. Germany has the know-how when it comes to training labor. Can we expect future cooperation in helping Egypt set up maybe strong vocational centers?
Absolutely. This offer is actually on the table since many, many years. Like that, we want to offer our dual system, which means that the training takes place partly in schools, but mainly in the factories. Why is this so important? Usually the factories have the latest state-of-art of technology, so they can really offer the up-to-date training to the young generation. And in this big delegation, we are going to have as well a representative from our Federal Institute for Training. iMove is the name of them, and they will renew the offer of a cooperation with the Egyptian government and as well with training centers.
When you say renew, it was proposed and nothing was done about it, or the word renew?
Yes, no, it's not true that nothing was done about it, but what we are still missing is a kind of holistic and centralized approach to the training. What I mean with this one is right now everybody can open a training center and we'll find a lot of willing young Egyptians who are desperately to get trained, but they're not trained to a unified national standard. So what we are promoting is that we have one central unit who combines all the training activities for the country so that it doesn't make a difference whether a plumber is trained in Alex or in Asyut or in Cairo or in Aswan.
So that quality assurance.
Yeah. And I think then we can really jump into the next phase of knowledge of the workforce right now. Right now we have a problem that they are differently trained, and if you want then to enter into global competition, it's very difficult for our companies here to do that.
Engineer Riad, can you just give us your feedback on the vocational training deal with Germany? Why are we slow on grabbing such an opportunity when we have a problem on that?
To give a simple idea about it, we have horizontal vocational training and vertical horizontal training. Up to now, we are fairly successful with horizontal training. As Dr. Herret mentioned, we have to unify the package, the program of training, so the training is unified and the knowledge transferred to the recipients is the same and is according to the European standard. Once this is done on the horizontal level, we can go up with training labor force to be more professional, up to the degree of a foreman or a master on the technical process he is subjected to. We have about 52 technical branches. They are not yet all covered on the horizontal level, maybe 14 or 15. So it has to be completed, integrated. Then I expect going then up on the more sophisticated level will be the next stage. So consider it that first stage is okay. We still need other stages to follow.
If we talk about the volume of trade between Egypt and Germany, where does it stand right now and how can we increase it?
Well, we have right now a record level. German exports to Egypt, they are last year at 3.3 billion euro. That is an increase of more than 25% over the last year, 2014. And in 2014 we had as well an increase of 25%. So it's really amazing if you imagine all the problems with foreign currency shortage and the difficulties, how much the Egyptians love quality made in Germany. But the Egyptians as well made a record. They increased their exports to Germany by 13.6%. And they're standing now by 1.5 billion euro. And this is mainly due to an increase of the quality of fresh produce, of flowers, vegetables, bio-products, and the Egyptian agriculture sector is so successful. They participated this year in the Fruit Logistica, which is the world leading trade fair for fruits and vegetables, and Egypt was the official partner country. We had 89 exhibitors from Egypt. They made great business over there. So agriculture is really a sector, I think it's sometimes a little bit neglected by all of us because we're looking to the fancy guys, IT and like this. But it has two advantages. It employs a lot of people and it keeps the people in their villages. So it avoids that everybody rushes to the centers.
What other sectors do you think Germany, we established that agriculture is a sector where it could be useful to Germany. What other sectors, what else does Germany need from Egypt?
Engineers, for instance. We know that in the next 10 to 15 years...
Germany needs engineers?
Yes.
Okay. How come?
We made a mistake 20 years ago. We didn't promote the engineering profession. And now we need 50,000 engineers, 50,000 in the next 10 to 15 years. So if a young Egyptian is starting now to study engineering and takes a German language course at the Goethe Institute, I think he has a good chance to find a job in Germany. So this is one thing. The other thing is that we have existing engineering capacities in Egypt, in particular in the IT sector. So software development, programming software for automation. We are talking in Germany about a concept, it's called Industry 4.0, that is totally networked industrial production processes, logistics, where the different production cycles are linking in between And this requires as well a big know-how in software. And we have this know-how here in Egypt, and the difference is that Egypt can offer it as much more competitive cost than we can do it in Germany. So this is definitely an opportunity. Another thing that the Germans should want from Egypt, and I'm not sure if they have really discovered this, and that is Africa. Because for Germany, Africa is more uncharted territory. We have not yet discovered this, but Egypt and Egypt's companies have so much experience already. So I could imagine that we find Egyptian companies who are willing to take German partners on board and form joint ventures so that we can embark on projects across this huge developing continent. Everybody says Africa is the future.
Yes. Dr. Riad, we know what Germany wants from Egypt, and now the question is, what do we need from Germany? A lot.
A lot. Technology, proficient discipline, proper technical training, upgrading of techniques, training on more sophisticated machines like CNC driven machine, robotic welding, design, more studies on material. We have to go deeper into dyes and mold making. I'm happy to see that 10 and 20 years ago, when we got a sophisticated machine, like a robotic welding machine, we didn't have on reach an Egyptian technician to operate it properly. And we had to give training through technicians from the supplier of the machine, which was very costly. Nowadays, we send a guy, he gets the training, and come back fully fit to operate, program, and troubleshoot the problems.
Yes.
So I consider the Egyptians to be fast learners and to be ambitious, going extra mile to get himself promoted on the profession. So what we expect from Germany is more supportive role for the maintenance of the German machines delivered to Egypt. I'd like to see a park for repair and maintenance of German machines. I would like to see more enlargement of businessmen investing in Egypt. I would like to see German banks active in Egypt. All this will be very useful to Egypt, and it will have its reflection also on the German economy.
How can you're saying I would like to see, well, you're heading the German-Egyptian Business Association, so maybe I should be asking you, or I should be telling you, I would like to see this. What's the association, what can the association to do so that this happens?
I'm talking about doable targets, not dreams. I would like to see it sooner than later.
How can we get it done?
If more businessmen, German businessmen, make joint projects in Egypt, if Egyptian businessmen are more capable to do more cooperation with the German entrepreneurs, if the stability in Egypt is faster, if global investment contains the Middle East in its program.
Do the German businessmen feel Egypt is an unsafe investment destination or an investment partner right now?
That depends certainly on those whom you ask. If you ask those who have invested and who are here, they will clearly say, no, it's not dangerous like that. But we have unfortunately in the media scenery so many negative reports, warnings, that those who are not familiar with Egypt, they have concerns. Capital shortage, bureaucracy, the usual things, and there are other countries that are perceived to be more profitable. Asia is, of course, still one of the growth centers. And that is why these delegations offer us really an opportunity to show the real Egypt.
What is your chamber doing to show the real Egypt? In other words, as you were saying that Egypt could be Germany's foot to the continent. Is this a message that is being delivered to potential businessmen, that this is your entrance or your gateway to Africa?
Absolutely. Actually, this is our bread and butter business, which we are doing all the time, that we are showing the business opportunities. And for this special occasion, we have printed a special brochure, 72 pages, only with growth centers and growth sectors in Egypt. And this will be distributed to the delegation once they board the plane in Germany. Because we feel then they cannot run away. They have no choice, they have to read it on the flight here.
Yes.
And so when they arrive, we hope they will already be full of admiration and say, wow, we never expected to find this here in Egypt.
When you talk to Egyptian businessmen, what is their concern about investing or doing joint business with Germany?
Actually, the Egyptian market has its nature. The Egyptian market, as a majority of consumers, they accept moderate and middle class quality. So those who are not able to produce first class or high quality, they have the Egyptian market, which is very attractive, because the Egyptian market is very demanding. Only a few who have the possibility to go up with the European expectations of quality are able to export. It's very important that we don't export raw materials like raw cotton or
Which
oil.
is what we do.
Yes. We have to do some added value. Actually, what we export should be an added value. And the more added value we export, the more professional profit we'll gain. So the industry in Egypt is like a pyramid. The base is big and the top is narrow. So we need to have the base bigger so that the top could be even higher.
Yes.
It is a chain. It has to be handled in full, not in part. The same with the small and middle-sized industries and projects. It is a chain. It starts with training and ends with production in quality. Unless we take care of the entire matrix, we will be doing local support and not integrated support. I'm very optimistic that the means of production in Egypt, compared with what we had a few years ago, is relatively going up very fast. As Mr. Herret mentioned, the IT education and practices in Egypt is going very fast upwards. And this makes me more optimistic than some years ago.
Mr. Herret, if we talk about joint ventures between Egypt and Germany right now, do you think that we can eye someone in this delegation, without going into names, but what sector can Egypt put an eye on, or the Egyptian businessmen keep an eye on to try to strike a deal with?
Well, for the time being, I would bet on renewable energy. Because this is a topic that is always up to date in Germany, and it is gaining more and more momentum in Egypt, in particular since we have the feed-in law, since we have a very dedicated Minister of Electricity who knows exactly the value of renewable energy, who is supportive of this one. We have more and more wind farms coming up. We have plans that Egypt is developing its own solar panel industry. All this is highly interesting for Germany because, as Dr. Nader has said, the Germans are in need of partners who can offer technology on the same level. And these, for instance, manufacturing solar panels, that is exactly the same level that we are looking. Then I can match German partners with Egyptian partners like that. And I think this is really worthwhile to follow up.
If we talk about expectancies from this visit, we have two high-level delegations. They will be in Cairo for the next week. What are we expecting since, as well, we have an official in that delegation? What does the significance of a vice chancellor's accompanying this delegation mean?
This would signify that the delegation is high ranked up to the level of the vice chancellor of Germany, and that he would be able to convey both ways points of understanding and agreement. On the technical level, we have to look with high consideration to the experience and efficiency of Germany within the fields of railways. Most of the running locomotives on the railways of Egypt are German. On renewable energy, especially wind energy, whereby Germany is a leading nation on that. The reformation of the steel, iron and steel factory, it needs German support, and Germany is most prepared for that. I'll jump to shipbuilding. Our shipyard had stopped developing since decades. And in particular, the shipyard of Hamburg is not having sufficient orders because of the Far East severe competition. So I think we could have some kind of getting closer to using the German capacity implemented in the new sector of the Suez Canal, because this hub is offering something unique. It stands between the main Mediterranean harbor, Brindisi, where the ocean crossers drop the Mediterranean goods in it to circulate on a smaller circle, and Jabal Ali.
Yes.
So the Suez Canal new project offers a unique opportunity for shipbuilding and ship repair. And I think Germany has the free capacity.
So maybe this could be one of the investment opportunities
I
for
would see
Germany
it
to
like
come and
that.
invest in
Yes.
something like this.
Yes.
Is something prepared? I mean, you have businessmen, some of them maybe that never came to Egypt before. Is there something prepared to present to those people?
Yeah, absolutely. For instance, the special publication that we have for them to tell them what
The one that they're reading on the flight.
They read on the flight, where we tell them this will be the sectors where we will see growth in Egypt within the next 1, 2, 3 years. Right
But
away.
should they have not received some kind of document already? I mean, things are not planned in Germany haphazardly. Before they come, should they have not been informed of where is the investment opportunity, what is needed, how is the economy in Egypt, how is it functioning, investment law, etc., so that maybe when they come, there'll be more solid ground, and they'll know what they should be looking out for?
Yeah, absolutely. We have our regular publications. We have e-newsletters that we publish every other month, like this, and we have our regular reporting. I remember the big starting point or turnaround point that was Sharm el-Sheikh. This attracted already a lot of attention, and we had a big German delegation here, and here again our Vice Chancellor visited for this, and he was one of the highest ranked.
And there was a lot of business opportunities there.
And you might say that this is now a continuation of the success of Sharm el-Sheikh, that the people, they got a taste for the mega projects as well. Although I always like to say mega projects is one thing, it is famous and it helps, but we need as well the groundwork. Yeah? We need to give opportunities to the small and medium-sized industries for cooperation, and who might not qualify for mega projects. But of course we take the mega projects as we can take
cooperation exist between Egypt and Germany? I mean, are we cooperating on small and medium enterprises? Because it seems to be ignored on all fronts.
Not enough, exactly. It seems to be ignored, and it doesn't only seem, it is ignored. In the sense that we have now, for the first time in Egypt, really a policy and a reform program for the small and medium-sized industries. I mean, what the central bank did, this 200 million guinea, which are now available for the SMEs, this is completely new. This is as well a reform that addresses to bring the informal economy into the formal economy, because the informal ones are usually the SMEs. And this will enable us to find counterparts for German SMEs, like who might have been scared because I mean, not everybody wants to come to a country and start everything from scratch. So you want to rely on a partner.
When we talk about renewable energy, have we lined up partners in Egypt? I mean, this is a sector, we have a lot of issues with energy. We signed up quite a lot of agreements on that front, but we're still far behind when it comes to renewable energy.
Well, awareness and belief and convincing is a very important part of having things done. The delegation will meet with high-ranked officials, the Minister of Industry and Trade, Minister of Supply, Minister of Electricity, and so the talks on the official level will handle all these matters. On the practical level, Egyptian businessmen and German businessmen are well informed about the meetings they are about to get together. So they know with whom they are supposed to meet. And both ways, each businessman could initiate a relation with a counterpart that he deems active in the same field of interest. So this is a very good role of the chamber, the German Arab Chamber of Commerce and Trade, Commerce and Industry, bringing people together. So the meetings are organized and information about the participants will be exchanged. And in many cases, the first confrontation is not the final confrontation. It qualifies for more, going into more details and more studies about the feasibility, the size of the project, the location of the project. So it doesn't just go in a spontaneous mode. So it has to take its time. So what we are starting now is very important. The people are there. We have counter partners to meet with them. The officials have opened doors for them, and we'll give them the necessary information about the investment law, the demand of the Egyptian territory on each product, the gap between demand and offer.
Yes.
And these are the most important information that a foreign investor needs to evaluate the situation.
Dr. Herret, Germany is also advanced in healthcare. Is there anything into the health sector that we should be looking forward to?
I could imagine that Egypt would be interested in the training of nurses in order to improve the medical services that are here. I heard recently from one of my Egyptian friends, he visited Germany for medical treatment, and he was so surprised to find in a small town, in a hospital, 3 Egyptian doctors who were working there like this. So you can imagine, why do they venture to Germany and they're not working here? So they appreciate, of course, the environment they find over there, the equipment, and there is definitely a lot of potential for cooperation as well. I know as well of Egyptian companies from the medical technology, who are developing machines and apparatus for treatment, who have invested in Germany and who are selling worldwide. So who have the know-how, and they are still very active as well in Egypt. So it goes in both directions. Like we have other companies who have great success in Germany with investment and who are still active in Egypt. So this is a strong fundamentals on which we can build.
Healthcare, what do we need from Germany?
Technology is there, and transfer of technology is now not a big problem. Training, using more sophisticated equipment, like microsurgery. The German medical companies are very well established in Egypt, and they serve the medical sector with a lot of modern equipment. If you look at the number of specialized treatments, especially for the eyes, head, bones, and all this.
Spine.
Yes, spine also. Artificial joints. All these components and the machinery and equipment for doing the right accuracy. Most of them are coming from Germany and Europe. So we are on the right track with that. I happen to have a couple of cases of Egyptian friends accompanying them to have surgery in Germany, and I was astonished to see that assistants of the professors in Germany are Egyptians, and not Egyptians educated in Germany, but Egyptians educated in Egyptian universities.
Yes.
So with small training, they are up to the level needed for such sophisticated surgeries.
Gentlemen, Nile TV is a forum to the outside world, and we might have some potential investors looking at us right now. What message would you be directing to your counterparts in Germany who are thinking about how things are in Egypt?
I would clearly tell them, join these delegations, take the opportunity to come and see what Egypt is really like. In particular with the new reform policy that has been explained by His Excellency the Prime Minister only last week. Because this is really very encouraging. I think it was for the first time that from the political side the cards were really laid on the table. And that the Prime Minister said, we need to reinvent Egypt. We cannot continue in the way we have handled the problems 20 years ago. We want to change this one. We are building on more stability. We will fix the security problem. We will continue the path of democracy. We want to have a vibrant civil society. We will empower the parliament. So all these things are now falling in place and are coming. And that is actually one of the opportunities where you can enter Egypt, not just entering the market, but as well as an investment, because now there's a chance really to jumpstart the economy jointly together. And Our chamber has now more than 3,000 members. We have the capacity to assist any incoming investor and help him to overcome as well bureaucracy like that. And we have a strong network. We have the support of the Egyptian government. We have a good link to the administration. We have experienced members like my friend Dr. Nader Riad, who speaks the language as well, who can bridge the intercultural barrier if there is any. And that means for a German investor, if you come to Egypt, you are not alone. You find a little part of Germany here in Egypt as well. That's why our slogan for the 65 years of our chamber is Egypt's most German chamber.
Okay. Dr. Nader, what message would you be directing?
I'd like to elaborate on the same question. I would call the German investors to think of Egypt. Egypt has real advantages. It has a big consumer market of 90 million consumers, 70% of which have rapidly growing needs for most of the products. There is no so-called sufficiency in products as that in Europe. Everybody needs everything.
Yes.
Within 70% of the population. You will have fast learning labor. Even if they are not up to the standard at the beginning, learning by doing is very easy here. Also, the labor environment is very stable and very healthy. We don't have strikes and similar things in particular. More important is that with average quality, we recover 60% of the demand. If we would go up with higher quality, we will dominate the market. I remember having met with a member of the chamber who used to do all his life baby diapers in Germany. And he started doing a smaller production facility in Egypt using his old machines. Within 3 or 4 years, he bought most modern and sophisticated machines for the Egyptian market, modern machines that he didn't have and didn't implement in Germany. He's now very successful and very happy. This is just an example for the escalating demand of the Egyptian market.
Gentlemen, unfortunately our time is up, and we'll definitely do a follow-up show after the extended delegation's visit to Egypt to see what has materialized. Let's keep our fingers crossed that this will be a successful follow-up to the Sharm el-Sheikh summit, and some good deals will, I'm sure, be signed. Dr. Herret, Chief Executive Officer of the German Arab Chamber of Trade and Industry, thank you very much for joining us. And I'd like also to thank Dr. Engineer Nader, Riad, President of the Egyptian-German Business Association. A pleasure to have you both with us. I'd like to thank you, the viewers, wish you a very pleasant evening, and we'll see you same time next week. Until then, good night.